The divorce, I got $600,000. Yes.
Why?
That was part of our settlement, so I could have taken more, but I didn't.
It's an evil world we live in.
I just saw a video of some guy saying that women always regret the choice to divorce their husbands. Like later on, they always regret it.
Exactly. And women tend to make decisions on what's going on in the moment and what feels good right then and there. But once time settles in, then they figure out that they typically made a mistake, but it's too late.
I am processing the most triggering breakup I've had in 9 years.
Why are men so horrible?
Yesterday I told my husband I wanted to be separated from him, and people keep saying sorry, and I'm only crying right now because that was probably the hardest thing I've ever done.
Stop the cap.
I truly thought I was gonna be with him forever.
And on today's episode of Another Woman That Has Now Regretted Her Divorce. Let's go.
Hey, it's Jenna. Recently divorced and kind of figuring out this new way of life. I was married for 23 years and with that person for 3 years prior. So for a total of 26 years of my life, I have been out of the game of dating, making friends, going out, and stuff like that as a single woman in her 40s. Yeah, I'm 47.
Yeah, ma'am, you're totally cooked. And these women are oblivious. They make these decisions. They know that they're later on in life. They know that they can't turn the clock back. They have other dudes' children, and they get in the dating market, and they're like, so, well, this is my situation. Who's going to take me? And it's like, you don't have the same bargaining chips that you had when you were 21 in your prime. And actually, Kevin Samuels, he actually has a message for you. Take it away.
You're a woman over 27, it's time to sell. If you at 40, it's time to put that shit at the outlet. If you at 50, Salvation Army.
So I've raised children. My children are adult children now. And it's kind of interesting because it's so lonely at this stage in life after divorce.
We don't care. Let me tell you, we don't care.
On the day my divorce was final, I'll never forget what my ex said to me. He looked me right in the eyes and he said, "You're going to regret this. You're going to get 6 months down the road and you're going to regret divorcing me." And you know what? He's right. I did have regrets.
I cheated on my husband of 14 years and lost him forever.
Here's why women regret divorce more than men. Financially speaking, women's lives get worse after the divorce, while men's get better. The standard of living for women goes down an average of 27%, while the standard of living for men goes up 10%.
That's because women are naturally social creatures and they need to be around a man. They need to be having children. And of course, after divorce, their happiness completely withers away because their happiness was when they were married. Their happiness and their dopamine came from having children.
Divorced dads 10 times a day end themselves because they've come to the conclusion, I'm the problem, I'm the a-hole, remove me. They're cut off from their legacy, they're cut off from their kids, they feel rejected, and the person that I put ahead of my life, that I sacrificed for, that I love, that I put on this pedestal has abandoned me. Maybe I am worthless, maybe I am a piece of crap, maybe I don't deserve to be alive. And that negative self-talk drives them into the pavement and they take a permanent L. And now that pain and misery they feel inside gets rippled into the family, into the children. And the scariest part is for kids whose dads end themselves, they're more likely to do the same thing. My dad didn't stick around. Why should I?
Why get a divorce after 25 years of marriage? The short answer is because it is not too late to be happy.
No, ma'am, that's incorrect. The thing is, you listen to the sisterhood, you listen to feminism, you say, oh, I'm not happy. I could probably do better. The grass is greener on the other side. You bit the bullet, and now you're walking through the forest, park, wherever you are, and you have no direction whatsoever. And you're talking about, I got divorced after 25 years, trying to rationalize the decision as if it's a good decision, saying that, because I could be happy without it. It's a lie from the pit of hell.
And I finally got to a point at the beginning of the year where I decided that it wasn't too late to be happy. I still have hopefully many more years left, and I would like to be happy for those years.
Ma'am, just because you wake up in a new year or possibly a new time zone does not mean that you can possibly be happy just because you think it can materialize through your head. You know, manifest it, girl. It's not going to work. And that's the thing, man. She is literally like trying to rationalize this thinking. And it's crazy. Just bite the bullet. You're cooked. She cries at night, but she tries to tell her audience and tries to tell her social groups and whatever friends that she has left, or she thinks she has friends left, that she's fine and she can find happiness elsewhere. And it's just a crock of shit.
My wife recently asked for a divorce, just straight up said it wasn't working out anymore. She wasn't happy, blah, blah, blah. But no cheating, no abuse, nothing like that. Just wasn't happy.
Can we talk about how hard it is to leave the good guy? When you say, I want a divorce, and he's like, no, I want to work this out. Everything's going to be fine. You know, we can get through this. And he's so encouraging and everything's just so fucking peachy keen, right? We talk about how I'm manipulated into staying because he's a good guy. He does nothing wrong. Like, the only thing he's guilty of is being lazy and, you know, not putting in effort like we did when we were in the beginning of our relationship, like any other marriage.
I divorced the nice guy, knowing I was not in love and not fulfilled in that marriage, and that we truly just were not compatible.
He doesn't beat me, he doesn't do anything, he doesn't take money from me, but he downplays my emotions. I don't think he fully understands me. And we've talked about this, y'all. This has all been in counseling, but how do you leave the good guy?
If your husband is a good guy, but you're ready for divorce, you're not a bad person. So don't let guilt get the best of you.
The guilt you're feeling is actually not guilt, okay? Because guilt means you're doing something wrong, but you're not doing something wrong. And therefore, it's not guilt you're feeling, it's the discomfort of making a choice that you know is going to be hard for somebody else, and it's the choice that he doesn't want.
You're not doing him any favors by staying. If anything, you're actually going to start building up resentment. Your relationship doesn't have to be toxic to validate your feelings of wanting to leave.
You do not need to be in an abusive, awful, horrible relationship for you to justify why you want to choose yourself.
You are not doing anything wrong by asking for a divorce. You are not doing anything wrong by saying, my happiness lies in a different path.
Are you kidding?
He may not see it like this right now, but you're doing both of you a favor.
I hate the concept of a prenuptial agreement because it basically says, if and when you get divorced, this is what you're going to get. And there's something very bad about it. But I think it's a modern day necessity.
I didn't like the way the system works. Right. I mean, I really felt that it was very offensive to both of us. Mm-hmm. And he'd say, you know, you're right, but what am I supposed to do?
Well, Marla hates it, doesn't want to sign it. Ultimately, she has to sign it, just from my standpoint. She has to sign it.
So I said, whatever you need for your bankers, for your associates, I'll sign that. Let's just not call it a prenuptial, and let's not put a dollar amount on what happens once we're divorced. Mm-hmm. Once we're divorced, right? I mean, that's the way you start thinking.
In the end, they made a deal. Reports had her asking for $25 million, but he negotiated her down to a mere $1 million.
It looks a little,
cheap?
Yeah, it looks cheap.
Yeah, you mean the amount of money?
Well, the amount of money.
Not so bad. Somebody gets married and it doesn't work out, you get $1 million. I mean, you know.
You shouldn't be able to pay a price and be able to walk away. You make a commitment between yourselves and God, and you should not be able to say, write a little check, see you later.
It's a lousy thing. I hate the concept, but it's totally necessary. And I think $1 million is a lot of money.
No, you don't.
No, I don't, actually. But the fact is that $1 million for somebody coming into a marriage, if something didn't, and I'm not talking about anybody specifically, but it's a lot of money for somebody.
The woman's been with you 6 years. She's been, as you said, incredibly loyal. You're finally going to get married. You have a child. Give her the $25 million.
Well, I guess I look at everything like a deal. I mean, you know, it's just one of those things.
She hate it when I leave, love it when I stay. Trying to make a living, no baby, not today.